Tradul asks, can you suggest if there is any best way to identify stock that has institutional support? Yeah, because they are linear, okay? They keep surfing these moving averages, right? They keep building these higher lows. They bounce off these major moving averages. And they have constantly high volume. They're mostly mid and large caps. If it's a small cap, it's probably not institutional grade. They move a little bit differently. What are your tips for anyone who wants to? Okay, easiest one. You need to research the markets. Okay, you need to do what you need to do is you need to get the TC2000, look at the monthly chart, then you put up the watch list US stocks. You go through every US stock, and then you can have instead of a volume, you put a dollar volume here, and then you look at stocks that have at least say $1 billion or whatever in monthly dollar volume, or 5 billion or whatever, 10 billion. Just to get the more liquid names, so you avoid all the super thin ones. And then you go through all of these 49, 46 stocks, okay? And what you're gonna look for are the stocks that say at least doubled in 6 months, or went up 200-300% in a year, or 400-500% in 3-4 years. You're gonna create a separate watch list for every single stock that made big moves, okay? Maybe you're gonna get 500 or whatever, 300, 200 stocks that are liquid. You're just gonna go back to to the 90s or 80s. And then you're gonna look at chart patterns. Like, how do stocks move? Because stocks move in a very specific way. You get the same chart patterns occur over and over and over again. There's nothing new. You get the same chart patterns. There are some variations of them, but you got the same chart patterns in the 90s as you get today, right? That's the first thing you look at, just price action. Like, you can put some indicators on, like I use the moving averages, but you can use whatever indicator you want. Don't use too many, okay? Too many indicators is for suckers. Use a few. I would recommend moving averages. And then you look at the biggest moves, and look at how did they act. Like, when they pulled back, like how do they act in a pullback? Which moving averages do the best stocks obey, right? You look at all of that stuff. You build a database in your head. You spend 1,000 hours doing that. Just print the charts out. I have a big Evernote database with thousands and thousands of them. Like, I have thousands. Like, I have tens of thousands of charts, right? And then you start looking at fundamentals and news, etc., etc. Like, what is driving? What makes a stock go up 500% in a year, right? You spend another 1,000 hours doing that, and boom! Before you know it, you're gonna have $10 million in your accounts. I promise you. Labo is triggering. Okay, let's see. I'm reading the Darvas book. I think you recommended that. Yes, I did. The Darvas book is great. Still trying to work on my strategy and when to take. Probably need to let the stock rather than, yeah, use the 10 and 20 day as your, like, always sell every, 3-5% up, sell some, and then you keep the rest and use a close below the 10 and 20 days to scale out the rest of your shares. Many of the leaders like Livongo, Fastly will pull back 25% in a market correction of 10%. Yes. Since you, well, not necessarily. No. That's why you should look at relative strength. Like the last market correction we had on Thursday, Friday, like these two, that was a 5% correction, but many of these market leaders, they didn't even pull back. They went sideways. But yeah, sometimes when you get a bigger correction, yeah, the growth leaders do pull back more than the market. Let's see. Since you have a large cushion in these stocks, do you hold them? No. I look at the moving averages. Do they close below the 10-day? Do they close below the 20-day? Like a close below the 20-day, there's no reason to hold a stock. Unless it's putting in a higher low, like then I can hold some, but I will scale out. There is no reason to hold through bigger pullbacks, especially if you have big profits in a stock. It's better to wait for the correction to end and then you just buy the new ones that emerge. Yeah, absolutely. If you hold through big drawdowns, you can, and especially if you're on margin, but you're not gonna be on margin through market correction, because you're gonna get rolling stop outs. When the market starts peaking, you know, and starts turning lower, you're gonna get, like, every day, like if you have a portfolio like you have, like I have, every day a bunch of stocks are gonna stop you out. So you're not gonna be in a go through a market correction on margin. Like I'm on margin right now, but you know, every day stuff's gonna stop me out, or I'm gonna get, you know, sized down. Well, not completely. Usually when it closes below the 20-day. If it has been running nicely. Or if it violates a higher low, or if it just stops me out. Yeah, STGR broke out, I think yesterday. Oh yeah, look, I don't know. It's a sloppy setup. It could work, but I think it had two good setups a couple of months ago. Right now, it's, you know, I don't know. I don't like it very much. Will you hedge by, you know, sometimes I hedge by shorting the triple ETFs, like I did on Thursday and Friday. But yeah, absolutely. But only if I start, you know, see a good short setup. Like TQQ, I did see a good short setup. We were straight up, and then it started, you know, it gapped down and took out opening range lows midday. That was a good short setup. But you know, so I only like do the hedges, or whatever you want to call them, when you actually get a good setup on these triple ETFs. Not because I think the market is gonna tank or anything. You know, I always want the price action to confirm. No, only the ones that are close to my stop. Like something like OPES, right? Like this thing is 30% above my stop. There's no point in putting a hard stop on this thing. But something like I don't know. Let's look at maybe. Now I don't really have any stocks that are close to my stops. But let's see if I had bought something today and it was very close to my entry, then I would put a hard stop on it. But I almost never use hard stops, or very rarely.